So I'm not really certain on how to go about the first part of this video. It's going to be entirely unscripted and a little rambly, so if that's not something you want to listen to, this is the time code for where the meat of this video will begin. And the first thing I have to say is thank you. Thank you to everyone who watched my 40K video and thought the product of my hobbies was worth subscribing to my channel. Thank you to everyone who hit the like or dislike buttons. If you left a comment, thank you. If you just clicked on the video, watched it, and then left, still, thank you. It's been a very sobering experience, and it all came from basically a throwaway project. I wrote that theory before 2020. 10th edition was only just beginning to get rumors, and I had loose threads of what I thought was going on for that theory that only grew stronger after the release of 10th edition and the Pariah Nexus. And even now the theory is still kind of slapdash. I didn't really invest a whole lot into it because my channel is supposed to be about anime, manga, novels, general Japanese things, the occasional Japanese-inspired thing that's not from Japan. I'm a weeb. I've been a weeb longer than Gen Z has been alive. I remember being called Wapanese on 4chan. And so the kind of attention my Hivemind video got, it was a really jarring, sobering experience. It got so much more attention than I've ever experienced before. I've only been uploading videos since the end of June this year. And suddenly, because I decided to throw together a last-minute project for filler, that way my project flow wouldn't be interrupted for Halloween week, because I already had those 2 videos done, planned, and ready to go by the time that particular Friday rolled around. I was looking at an influx of attention I had never experienced before, and I don't think I was ready for it. I went from gaining 36 subscribers in basically 3 months to over 200 subscribers in 2 weeks. I mean, I guess that's just the fickle way YouTube works sometimes, but it made me question whether or not what I was trying to do was worth anything. If I was to chase success like any other YouTuber, I would have to completely abandon everything that I tried to build my channel to be, ending up in emulating or eventually turning into another long-form essay channel on a topic I already know is wildly popular. I mean, you got guys like Pancreas No Work, Bricky, Warhammer Theories. Even I look at Luton and call him the lore master. That's the kind of thing that I would have to compete with if I took that route, and I really don't want to. And I could feel my logic brain telling me to do it because that's where the success is pointing. But it's not what would make me satisfied with my own work. But at the same time, I can only assume that a large portion of this new subscriber influx that I got is here for that Warhammer storytelling. And it's not like I have no interest in it at all. It's just not primary to my hobbies, nor is it primary to my channel. And it also struck me with the wide array of comments that were left on that video. Some asked for more Warhammer content. There was some who was encouraging me and praising the video. There were some who were calling me an idiot or telling me I was wrong or arguing against the points. And I appreciate all of these comments. It helps me stay grounded. And wherever this channel ends up going, I know I'll be able to look back at this one time, this one event, and point to it as an experience of personal growth. And the one thing that's really been weighing on me is that I know a portion of this new subscriber base wants more Warhammer videos, and I'm probably not going to make another one for a long while. I mean, I have some more crackpot theories. I mentioned one of them. I suspect Thanquol has been blessed by Tzeentch. A few others that come to mind, I suspect the Wood Elves might secretly be a Chaos faction. I suspect Squigs might become a new link between Warhammer settings. I have one about Corvus Corax being a loyalist demon prince, and how most people, 40k fans and Games Workshop writers alike, get the Flare virus wrong. But I just wouldn't be very happy making Warhammer my primary focus. And at the same time, I don't want to leave all of the subscribers who decided that my videos were worth it because of that video in the lurch. And this is what I came up with as a bridge between my interests and yours. But that's enough carefully considered stream of consciousness out of me. So, Warhammer. Both fantasy and 40k. They both have their fan bases, some of it overlaps, and there's no point arguing which one is better since they both offer a different experience. I used to think 40k was awesome, and then I found fantasy, and now I think fantasy is the superior setting. You probably disagree. That's fine. We can disagree and nobody has to get aggro over it. But it's not exactly a matter of subjective opinion to say fantasy is more open to comedy and actual heroes while 40k is everything sucks all the time. But this channel, my channel, is an anime channel. And if you're like me, you enjoy both Japanese media and Warhammer, which might lead you to the question, is there a comparable series to come out of Japan to either of the Warhammer settings? Short answer is no, there isn't. Not like there's anything that can really stand one-to-one with either Warhammer setting. That's just not realistic to begin with. But there are stories that share themes and similar settings to a degree. None of these are going to be full reviews. They're just going to be basic summaries of what you can expect to find when you go looking. Warhammer Fantasy really does get the lion's share of those settings. High fantasy with magic and monsters has been a staple of the otaku market since the first Dragon Quest in 1986. And of course, the first one that usually comes up when you're talking about grimdark fantasy is Berserk. But there are other, better series than that. Yup, I said it. There are better series than Berserk. Better written, better characters, and their authors didn't die before finishing the story. Some big names you've probably heard of: Vinland Saga, Danish Vikings, Attack on Titan, the Depression Simulator, the infamous Goblin Slayer, which is just a D&D campaign turned into a novel, then a comic, then an anime, and the comic is the best version of the story. With those out of the way, how about some series you probably haven't heard of comparable to Warhammer Fantasy? First on the list is Claymore, authored by Norihiro Yagi. Set in the Middle Ages, it's a story about an organization called, well, Claymore, whose agents hunt human-eating monsters called Yoma. The agents being half human, half Yoma warriors, the only ones who can actually push back on the threat against humanity. But these warriors are all women. It's a very grimdark series with some decent twists and turns to it. The manga ran from June 2001 to October 2014, completing with 159 chapters. And from April to September 2007, a 26-episode anime by Madhouse would air. Ubel Blot, set in a world after war. It's a story of betrayal and subterfuge, both medieval, political, and military. I wouldn't call it grimdark so much as grim fantasy. The main character isn't a hero, because this is a revenge story. And this story has a 5-chapter prequel, a 167-chapter series authored by Etoroji Shiono, and a currently publishing sequel manga. It also got a 12-episode anime from January to March 2025, crafted by Satelight and Staple Entertainment. So you can give it a try with the show and move to the manga if you want more. At least for now, no word on if there's going to be another season yet. Next on the list is Kingdom. Set in the Warring States period of China, 475 to 221 BC, it's the story of orphan slaves Jin and Piao, as they aspire to become renowned generals under the leadership of Zheng Ying, the man who would unite the country as the first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang. Authored by Yasuhisa Hara, the manga has been publishing since 2006 and looks like it has over 850 chapters. Yeah, it's a long series, but from it you can expect all the violence and bloodshed of ancient Chinese warfare. It also has a long anime series. Season 1 airing from June 2012 to February 2014 at 38 episodes. Season 2 at 39 episodes from June 2013 to March 2014. Season 3 at 26 episodes from April 2020 to October 2021. Season 4 at 26 episodes from April to October 2022, and Season 5 at 13 episodes from January to March of 2024, with the first 2 seasons crafted by Studio Pierrot and the 3 after being a joint project between Studios Pierrot and Signpost. I said it was a long series. 106 episodes is long. So while editing, I noticed there is a 6th season that started airing October 5th, which looks like it might be 12 more episodes. And to cap off the fantasy portion of this is Made in Abyss. Authored by Akihito Tsukushi, it's a deceptively soul-crushing adventure into a giant hole filled with danger. Publishing since 2012 and currently sitting at 71 chapters with a 13-episode anime that aired from July to September 2017, crafted by Kinema Citrus, who also made 2 summary movies of the season and a 3rd sequel movie. This series is a mindfuck. It takes the cutesy chibi aesthetic and subjects the characters to the most violent and bloody TOS-violating grimdark psychological torture and physical torment you would expect from Warhammer and Berserk. It's a very heavy story, but that's why people like it so much. With just a handful of examples for the fantasy aspect, it's time to talk about the other setting, 40K. You're not going to be getting nearly as many similar series. There really isn't anything close to what 40K is on the otaku market, but that doesn't mean there aren't series that share some of its themes. First one that comes to my mind is Outlaw Star, similar to Cowboy Bebop with more of a magic touch to it. I think it's more like Rogue Trader than 40K itself, but 40K was a spin-off of Rogue Trader to begin with, so it works out. I've already made a full review on Outlaw Star, so you can check that out for a full explanation. Next is Technolize, which I think might be more similar to what it's like living in the underground of a hive city, bleak, depressing, and filled with cybernetics that are probably illegal. The level of nihilistic grimdark you'd want from a 40K setting, or a chronically depressed cyberpunk. It's an original series by Madhouse, airing from April to September 2003 at 22 episodes. Kind of incredible they could create something this horrific, given the rest of their filmography. Then there's Legend of Galactic Heroes, which is about as grimdark as a Caiaphas Cain novel, but it's as close as you're going to find to both the scope and scale of the 40K universe. It's about a 150-year-long stalemate between interstellar superpowers, the Galactic Empire, and the Free Planet Alliance. It's an insane product for its time, crafted by K-Factory and Kitty Film Mitaka, that aired as an OVA from January 1988 to March 1997, totaling 110 episodes. The story itself is an adaptation of a 10-novel series published from 82 to 87 by Yoshiki Tanaka, who won the Seiyun Award for Best Long-Form Japanese Sci-Fi in 1988. It also got a reboot by Production IG, a 12-episode season from April to June 2018. Stellar Wars Parts 1, 2, and 3 at 4 episodes each in 2019. Collision and Intrigue at 12 episodes each in 2022. And another currently unnamed sequel in the works. At the time of this video, no info is known about its production, so it's another long series jam-packed with story. Then there's Armored Trooper Votoms, which started out as a simple 12-chapter manga by author Minoru Nonaka from April 1983 to March 1984. And then Sunrise crafted a 52-episode anime out it from April 1983 to March 1984. Plus 13 prequel episodes with 1 in 1988 and 12 more from October 2007 to August 2008. A sequel OVA of 1 episode in 2011, and 6 more sequel episodes from March to October 2010, in story chronological order, instead of the production timeline, which, as you could probably tell, is all over the place. After a 200-year war between star systems, there's now an uneasy ceasefire across the Astraeus galaxy. The main character is caught up in some military espionage that puts him at odds with his own military and sets him on a path of discovering hidden agendas while being hunted on all sides. This is probably as close as you'll find to a single character narrative similar to a 40K story. But instead of Primarchs who are mostly incompetent failures, or an Inquisitor editing a war hero's memoirs, the main character of Votoms, Shiriko Cuvier, is highly intelligent, highly skilled, and stoic. I think he'd fit right in with Gaunt's Ghosts. And then there's Ergo Proxy, a story about the last human civilization on Earth after a global ecological catastrophe destroyed the planet, with only the domed city of Romdo being where survival is possible. In an attempt to expedite humanity's recovery, humanoid robots called Autoreeves were created to help in day-to-day life. However, these robots start to act strange after contracting a disease called cogitovirus, which grants them self-awareness. This leads the granddaughter of Ramdo's ruler, Rei, I shit you not, her name is spelled R-E-I, into an investigation that spirals down conspiracy and human depravity. A 32-episode season from February to August 2006 was crafted by Manglobe, with Ergo Proxy being the kind of grimdark that's along the lines of prior to 40K's dark age of technology. Earth might as well be a dead planet, and some kind of virus is creating AI and robots that shouldn't have it. Very spontaneous STC without the insane weapons and space travel. It's a very niche series, but with AI being such a hot topic right now, it probably has a better chance at an audience than it did in 2006. And crafted by Gonzo while airing from October 2004 to March 2005 is Desert Punk, a 24-episode anime based on the manga of the same name by author Masatoshi Usune, which published from 1997 to 2020 with a total of 139 chapters. In a future where Japan has become a desert wasteland, humans try to survive on what little they can amongst the ruins and sand, but that's for normal people. The protagonist of this story is Tsunabozu, the desert punk, who's built a reputation for a 100% job completion rate no matter the cost or nature. It's pretty clear that Desert Punk shares more in common with Dune than 40K, but in a way 40K was also in part inspired by Dune. And all three are bleak dystopian post-apocalyptic nightmares. The last one I'll mention is 86. Yes, that's the name. Starting out as a novel authored by Asato Asato, yes really, it began publishing in 2017 before getting a manga version with an 11-episode anime airing from April to June 2021, with a 12-episode Season 2 airing from October 2021 to March 2022, crafted by A1 Pictures. 86 I would relate to as the life of a guardsman, plus the prejudice of everyone who isn't part of the 86th faction thinking you're beneath them in value. It's a gruesome and depressing military story that might appeal to all you Astra Militarum stans. So there's a bunch of suggestions for Warhammer fans thinking about picking up and trying some otaku series. I am the NBT, this has been the Noble Weeaboo. Like or don't, sub or don't, and thank you for watching.